We thank you, Father, for this group of brethren, for everybody who comes here together in order to better the world, better the community. We thank you for the food people have prepared. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, for save the skies forever, waves of grace, for the majesty of the flaming of God shed His grace on me, and crowned like a big brother from sea to shining sea. Already, AOY.
Charlie Upshaw is back. So we have some wonderful guests here today. We have a few. I'm gonna start back here with you, Randy. We're getting you here. And if you don't mind standing up and introducing yourself and saying what brought you to Rotary today.
Hello, I'm Sharon Simpson, and I'm the guest of Randy, and I work at the Wakeford Foundation, and I started there in January. I worked on getting external grants to come into the foundation, and then also how the hospital works with the foundation to fund those projects. And I'm just here to learn about Raleigh and its people and the needs of our community. So thank you.
Hey, there goes. I am here from, managed service provider that I work for in the area. Before this, I actually worked spread out all over the country, so it was hard to actually get a group that go along to the next, and it's fun to get back. So, I reached out to Harrison, Kirk, and I'm here, and everybody is good and wonderful, and I'm looking forward to our. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Welcome back. So Jacob, I know you're in your first reading today, but please stand up and introduce yourself again.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jacob Baldwin. This is my second time visiting the chapter of Rotary. I recently relocated to Raleigh for work and looking for me to get involved in the community.
Thank you all your guests. Welcome back, Jacob and David, and welcome Karen. Thank you for visiting us. So since Charlie Upshaw is back, would you mind doing $50 just to people? And as he comes over here, don't forget the red buckets in the middle of the table for the Mitchell line, North Carolina. If you have any spare change, dollar bills, please drop those in. All right.
Thank you, President Jerry. Good to be back. I have a $50 here for Mike.
Got some $50 here. My little guy, Wes, is turning 1 on Friday this week, so we're celebrating this Saturday. Little guy is 1.
Okay. Anybody else is active? Okay, present here.
Just like what I just said.
Thank you, Charlie. I've got $1 here. On Saturday was a big day at the farm. We did our first honey harvest. So I'm very excited about that. We should be doing another one later in June. So I'll have to bring in samples of honey for everybody. Big day tomorrow.
Sweet.
He is not here today. I didn't see him, Kevin Summers. I don't know if y'all saw we posted this on LinkedIn. Kevin was awarded the North Carolina Governor's Award for volunteer service. And those of you that know Kevin know that he is very passionate about Habitat for Humanity as well as his club. He's the past president of the club. So when you see him, tell him congratulations. He was nominated by Habitat for Humanity for Wade and Johnson counties. And he's on Zoom. Congratulations, Kevin. and for his years and years of dedication to that wonderful cause. So big congratulations to Kevin. Next time he is here in person, we'll have to recognize him for that. Okay, upcoming meetings. So, next week we have Peace Fellow Gideon Kapalasa, who was here last week during Daniel Raleigh presentation. He will tell us about his Rotary Peace Fellow work over at UNC2. Then we will not meet the following week, Memorial Day, and then all of a sudden we're on the last month of the Rotary year. And we had to kick that off with a weather presentation. So Jonathan Blaze, who's meteorologist in charge for the National Weather Service Office in Raleigh, where we're located over at Centennial Campus on State, is gonna come talk to us about weather service and weather in North Carolina. We also have a board meeting tonight at 5:30 p.m. Those are via Zoom. So anybody that's interested in attending, you don't have to be on the board or be an upcoming board. We welcome all members who attend and listen to what goes on and input comments as needed or see fit. So I'll send it for the link if you'd like to. All right, Pete Ciccone is running or coordinating this year's Boys and Girls Golf Tournament. That will be held at the Ferry McGregor Downs Country Club. That's also going to be on June 3rd. See Pete for more details. I don't know if he's filled all of the spots for our two teams. He has. Okay, so on June 3rd, everybody who's cheering on our Rotary teams, Raleigh Rotary teams. I don't know if this is the first time ever we've had two full groups playing. That's great news. And then this weekend, district conference, Nathan, you're gonna be there, right? Just Con 24 New Bern. I'm gonna be there, I think Patty Rudy's gonna be there, so should have three, four of us from Raleigh representing, so we'll have a report on that after this weekend. It should be a fun time, and they do this every year at the end of May, so be on the lookout. It's usually in this area of North Carolina. So I highly recommend attending, if you're not this year, in future years. Okay, it is time for wrap. And Richard Avery will be up after the report.
Sorry, I think we're going to check bike so we can do the raffle. This week's raffle, we've got some money as a giveaway, and we also have a special prize for today's winner. Carrie out at Hope Farm took an early press of honey, and so we've got about 3 ounces of real local Hope Farm honey going to today's winner. So if you didn't play, you lost out already. So let's see what we got. It is a sweet pie. Thank you, Richard. All right, here we go. Good dad jokes from Richard. All right. 800-3053. Surrey Roberts is today's winner.
Congratulations, Murray. And for those that aren't familiar, our 50-50 raffle, we do that every week, and the money goes to support our Rotary Youth Exchange student who we will be getting from Brazil. We'll be coming into Brazil later. Also, Richard mentioned a dad joke. I think Harrison has gone down the gauntlet a few weeks ago. He raps dad jokes. He hasn't said it was rapping. I'm saying that the last one. So, all right. You have service update from Richard.
Hey folks, Richard Davis, Service Chair, good afternoon. We've got one project coming up today, one in June. Now, originally I talked about doing a habitat build, okay. However, they have enough sign-ups. So I guess that's a good thing, I guess. So we could get on the many. However, Saturday, here at the back of the road, an organization called Love is Ball is holding a brew. Now, Love is Ball is basically a group of volunteers who raise money for nonprofits. Every year they select one, they give 100% of the proceeds to the nonprofit. Well, Love is Ball is having a brew off here, 12-4, for a number of different breweries around the trials. You can sample their beer. And for a $35 ticket, you can get a glass, all kinds of samples. It's the great time. Now, Love is Ball this year is donating 100% of the proceeds to the Hope Lodge. The Hope Lodge is in Greenville, North Carolina. It's at the Hope Lodge provided by the American Cancer Society, where patients can stay, they're being treated in Greenville at no charge. So you can imagine a patient and caregiver is staying, being treated, how much a hotel can cost. Basically, $35 a night is what a night at home lodge costs. So, $35 ticket gives you all kinds of beer, you can meet some folks and have a good time. We are looking for 4 volunteers for this event. It's from 11 to 4. It's very casual. It's basically helping the vendors and stewarding guests. So, we'll send out an email later on today, but we would appreciate your help and support with that. And again, that's happening right here. And then next in June, we'll be at Pocket. We'll do some sorting, folding. It's a great one. We have a great relationship. Looking for about 10 volunteers for this. Family friendly event too. Tomorrow, Saturday is probably not so family friendly, but this is definitely a friendly event. Cue the dad jokes, Harrison. But yeah, thank you for your service. We are going to wrap up this year, and then we're looking for next year another set of projects. We appreciate all your support. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Richard. Last week I mentioned the Rotary Friendship Exchange. What that is Rotarians from different countries and around the world, maybe different states of the United States, traveling to another location, and they are hosted by Rotarians in that location. I believe past district governor Rosine Sinclair, she did this before. There's currently an opportunity that one of the Carry Clubs is organizing for a friendship exchange in Sweden. If you look at this week's bulletin, there's more details in that. If you were interested, they're looking at filling 2 spots. They had 2 people that were unable to go, drop out. So if you wanted a full trip to Sweden with some Rotarians, check that out. All right, Harrison, it is time, as always, for an exciting membership time.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. My name is Harrison Turner. Please do join me. I'm head of our membership, the Rotary Club of Raleigh. So glad you're part of our meeting today, where we get to highlight just some of the things that we're doing in our community and all the activities we're part of. We'd love for you to be involved more. So I'll be over here by the door after this before. Thank you so much. I'll be over here by the door. Would love to connect with you more about how we can get you more engaged with our club and maybe potentially even get an application in for membership. Today we have a couple of things for membership. First, we have our first reading for Jacob Halsey, sponsored by John Moon. Jacob is originally from Bath, North Carolina, and graduated from ECU with a degree in finance. He relocated to Raleigh after graduating and now serves as a registered financial associate at Fortress Financial Partners, which is a boutique investment advisory brokerage here in Raleigh. Since moving to Raleigh, Jacob has been looking for ways to become more involved in the community, giving back, and growing as a person. So he was introduced to Rotary from one of his former mentors. So he's excited to get involved with Rotary and kind of continue that legacy from his mentor itself, and get involved with our community itself. So had an opportunity to meet with Jacob last week. He seems extremely engaged and excited to be a part of our club. Please make sure to introduce yourself to Jacob after the meeting. If you got any questions about his membership, please reach out to me directly. Round of applause for Jacob. Next up, we got Weston. I've had the opportunity to get to know Weston, have coffee with him, and hear about his love for the community, wanting to involve, and the plans he has for the future. So we're really looking forward to having him as a fellow Rotarian. So Weston Moore, as a reminder, is sponsored by Dave Ames, and Weston's membership application has been reviewed and approved in accordance with our club's constitution and bylaws. We will now proceed in many years of membership of the Rotary Club of Raleigh, as well as the friendship of Rotary throughout the world. First, we have a couple of questions. Question number 1.
Will you join us as we strive to live a life of service above self?
Question number 2.
Join our activities and service programs, providing opportunities to support our community.
And will you join us in supporting Rotary's efforts worldwide, which focus on these 7 areas: promoting peace, disease prevention, providing clean water and sanitation, maternal and child health, basic education and literacy, economic and community development, and protecting the environment. And fellow Rotarians, will you join me in fostering and supporting Weston as he joins us in our pursuit of adding value to our communities through service above self? So please say, I do. Do you, Carrie, if you would do the honors of providing Weston with his Rotary pin. Just one second. Very good. With that, everyone, please help me in welcoming Weston to the Rotary Club of Raleigh. There we go. Last but not least, we have a service social, May 29th, 5:30 to 7. This one's gonna be a little bit different. We're actually gonna be meeting at Neighbor Health. We heard from, Daniel last week, I'm about to call him, sorry. We heard from Daniel last week, and we thought it'd be great to actually go and see, the facility. So we'll be having a fun little after-hour event there. Please mark your calendar to help support, a local nonprofit, as well as one of our Rotarians, May 29th, 5:30 to 7.
Thank you, Harrison. So, welcome, Weston, thrilled to have you as a part of the club, and Jacob, it was great to have your first meeting. So excited to hear next week, Jacob, why Rotary. Also the Neighbor Health Service Social, this is gonna be, we're trying something a little different this month, as Harrison said. They're gonna set up a nice spread for us there, they're gonna cater some food for us, so very excited about that. Be on the lookout for an e-bike that'll get sent out probably about a week before that event. So birthdays and anniversaries, we don't have any birthdays this week, but there are some quite the mile mark for anniversaries. First one, over here, Richard and Lisa Avery. Where's your Richard? It is number 20, so congratulations, round of applause for Richard. Not to outdo you, well, Sarah's here for you first, that is another mile marker, well, that's 15 for you guys, so round of applause for them. And Burke and Terry Haywood, I didn't see Burke today, but they're gonna have their 43rd anniversary. And, not to outdo everybody, but Bill and Sally McLaurin are celebrating their 51st wedding anniversary next week. So congratulations, gentlemen, and your lovely, lovely spouses. So with that, I'm gonna start a little bit early because, my wonderful friend Masha Maddux, is here to talk about her dance journey. And, I'm gonna read her bio first, and I'm gonna add a few other, just a second. So Masha Maddux is a native of Ukraine. Masha, I might butcher your middle name, Masha Dashkina. Okay, Maddux studied at the Armor Dance Theater of Miami, Florida, and received her BFA from New World School of Arts. Ms. Maddux joined the Martha Graham Dance Company in 2007 and rose to the rank of principal dancer. She appeared in the feature film Call to Rise, as well as Martha Graham Dance Technique beginning level and intermediate level instructional videos. Was featured on the covers of Diva magazine and Dance Photography Club, The Art of Movement. Ms. Maddux is the founder and artistic director of the Wake Forest Dance Festival. She serves on the board of the Dancing Angels Foundation and is one of the founding members of Charlotte Hayes Movement and Migration Dance Collective. In 2008, she received the Alto Domio Best Dancer Award in Calabria, Italy. Currently, she serves as the Registrar for the Martha Graham Center for Contemporary Dance, restaging ballets choreographed by Martha Graham. So it is my honor to ask you to help me welcome Masha to the podium. She and her family are just lovely, wonderful people, and it is an honor to call her a friend. So please join me in welcoming her.
Hi, everybody. Well, first of all, Carrie, thank you so much for having me here. This is such an honor to meet everybody, to be able to shake everybody's hand at some point, and remember to name. They'll test me afterwards. I was born in Kiev, Ukraine, and, that is where I was first introduced to dance. Now, my first introduction to dance was through a theater. My mom. Hello. Yes. So I was about 4 years old, my mom brought me to theater to see, Raleigh Rotary. Sadly, she had to pull me out of the theater because I was so overwhelmed with emotion, and I kept saying, this is what I want to do. She physically had to pull me out from the audience because I was being disruptive, but it was fine. And that was my first introduction to dance. My heart was pierced that particular evening. Something about that particular performance, I knew at that moment that that is what I wanted to do. My mom was hoping that this would be just a quick streak and I would forget about it. No, I did not. Okay, just keep doing this. Can I just keep talking? Can you guys hear me? Someone? No, I don't think that. Got it right. Okay. Pop monster tones. All right. I don't know if it matters.
Hold please.
And it just got back from the shop.
Oh,
It should work.
do a little dance for me. Harrison, dad joke. Yeah.
Charlie, I was trying to get up there, Carol.
$1,000 a year.
Thanks, Emma.
Right.
So what do you remember so far? You got it to the truth. All right, so take 2, 4 years old, want to dance, make, ah.
Okay. Sorry.
Oh, those are you.
It should be okay then.
Oh, that's the same.
They changed about it. Thanks.
All right, so how old was I when I was introduced to dance? Just making sure. But anyways, I persisted in my mom with me in dance classes. And if you are ever in Ukraine, dance is very extremely competitive. The way they select their dancers, there's only one particular school that keeps their dancers into the opera house. If you don't get into that program, you basically you can put a cross in your career as far as dancing goes. You audition when you're 6 or 7, and a lot of the criteria is based on the way you look. So take a wild guess why I was not selected. One of the top people, though, I was not selected.
Too short.
My head was too big. Yes, okay. Just want to make sure everybody remembers that. So according to their standards, my head was too big, so I couldn't join the program. So obviously I was devastated, and as far as I knew, my career in dance would be over that one. Now, in 1998, my father got a very wonderful opportunity to come and join a scientific research project for the University of Miami. He got a visa, and my mom and I joined, and it was supposed to be just 1 year. As far as I was concerned, this is new chapter, dance is behind me. I was told by everybody in Ukraine, I have a future, and this would be an opportunity to find something new. Now, unbeknownst to me, in Miami, even though we're living off of one salary and could not afford a car or any kind of transportation level,
we happened to live right across the street, from one of the most prestigious dance schools at that point. Where I went and took my first class and was just my love for dance was completely renewed. And, Miss Ruth Wiesen, who is my little Nico, she came up to my mom and she said, she's great, we're going to have her, this is how much it costs. And my mom looked at me and with my little eyes, and she said, we can't afford that. And Miss Ruth said, can you afford half? And my mom said, we can't afford half either. Goes, can you pay $15? My mom said, I think we can scramble that. She said, okay, we're gonna put her in a scholarship program. And as far as we're concerned, your tuition is this number, everything else, whatever she needs, tights, shoes, ballet shoes will be provided by us. And that was my door number one. And it was a very significant door number one. And to this day, I still talk to Ms. Ruth. She is my guiding angel. And there's a story that I'll share with you later. But with that scholarship offer and being at that school, our dance theater provided an opportunity to join, to audition for the World School of the Arts in downtown Miami. Now, New World is based after Juilliard programming and has a very heavy focus on ballet technique, but also on classical modern. So, pioneers in modern dance, American pioneers in modern dance, like Mark Graham and Jose Leon, these were part of our everyday education. These techniques were ingrained in us from grade 9. So here I am on scholarship in one school and moving on to a very prestigious magnet school. My dance career started to thrive right there. So that was my stepping stone number 2. Now, the cool thing about New World is that they are affiliated with the University of Florida. And if you stay in the program for college, you can get your bachelor's degree in 3 years instead of 4. So Daniel Lewis really pushed me and he said, I think you should stay. And I think you will do really well here. So I did, and he gave me a full scholarship. So at the age of 20, I graduated at the top of my class. I was valedictorian for that group of dancers, and with no payment. I did not have to pay for my education, so that was really huge. However, some of you might have experienced that when you leave college. It seems like your very busy life schedule turns into nothing. So I found myself very quickly with nothing in dance. Ms. Ruth from our Harvard Dance Theater offered me a teaching job. Now that job gave me an opportunity to practice my pedagogy skills and everything else that I've learned over the years while being in high school and college. And then in 2006, I knew that there was something else that I wanted to do with my dance career. And I just realized I'm showing you the pictures. Okay. There's the land of dance. Okay, here we go. Catch up. Baby Masha dancing. Baby Masha dancing more. So originally, and I'm glad I'm showing you this in a second. So I wanted to be a ballerina. That was my course in life. This is what I wanted to do. Unfortunately, in 12th grade, I collided with another dancer, which ended my ballet career. So as far as I was concerned, every single dream of becoming a ballet dancer and every company that I ever set my eyes on was no longer possible. So I started to go in the direction of the classical modern, really focusing on the techniques like Jose Leon and Mark Graham. So from graduating from college, I really tried to master those because I knew that ballet would no longer be an option. Then I joined so these are basically my last performances before the injury and the point shoes went bye-bye. And then I joined the Martin Dance Company. So in 2006, they had their audition. They were looking for 2 men and for 2 women. It was the most grueling experience I've ever been a part of. It was a 3-day audition. And at the end of that, they kept narrowing it down, and I was one of the 2 who were asked to join the company. Now, to me, that was like being a Olympic gold medal. It was everything that I wanted to do. I packed my bag and my frying pan and moved to New York. And into an apartment that I never see, a Craigslist, don't ever do that, left the money. So that's a whole different story. Bring me in blue tracks for that. So initially, I definitely thrived in the dance company. I had a very wonderful time, and the more efficient I became, the more I was getting entrusted with bigger roles. And more prominent roles, more leading roles that were, so went from an apprentice to a chorus dancer to, a soloist, and then I started to do more, by the way, note to self. Thing, this is not when I performed them, this is one that we were choreographed, just making sure, I'm not that old. But all of these works were choreographed by Martha Graham. At the point when I joined, they started to have more guest choreographers come in, so now the company does kind of have guest choreographers and, choreography created by Martha Graham. So this is another picture from Appalachian Spring. This is the role of the brides. If you have heard of Martha Graham, if you have heard of Aaron Copeland, this is one of the works that they've collaborated together on. They've exchanged numerous letters. He was writing music, she was creating a work, and someone who she created the set. So it's a trifecta of 3 impeccable lines coming together to create something that is still surviving today from 1944 and really touches the hearts of audiences to this day. Serenata Morisca, this is a piece that put Martha Graham at the forefront in the world of dance. She started dancing at 22, which was considered to be very, very old, if possible. And this is the piece that company to this day performs. And then this is what gave her her name when she joined the Ted Sean company. Moving on, this is Erin into the maze. If you ever need a good workout, this is the one. This is how it felt today in the morning. Right, come on morning, here we go. Battle it out. It's 1947. So while I was in the company, I also got a chance to work with a lot of wonderful artists, trying to put dance development culture and trying to capture different ways than just on the. So these are some pictures from the NYC Dance Project. They have initially started taking photographs just of the prominent dancers at the time when they were photographing. And then it turned into a passion. They created a book, which I will show you in a second. This is a photo that I'll go about, so I'll come back to that in a second. But so NYC Dance Project wanted to take pictures of dancers, what ended up becoming an actual book. They printed the book, and later on that book of photographs of dancers became Oprah's #1 Christmas present. So if you look back, if you now type in as dance books on Amazon, it's the first thing that comes up. So they inadvertently wanted to create something out of the love of dance and just dove into this project at first, and this is what came out of it. Moving on, so this is the book. It's called Art of Movement. Later on, they moved on to collaborate with fashion designers who let them borrow clothing, and it would be worn by dancers and brought to life through movement. And they created another book. This is the picture from Dior. So, and then this was a photo. So same photo, but it was like a stencil, a huge stencil that was created on the side of a castle in Germany. So again, putting dance in the forefront in places where it would be least expected. I also got a chance to dip my toes into a little bit of an acting career. As Carrie mentioned, I was in a movie called Fall to Rise, and that was one of the best experiences of my life. It was so much fun. Really had a good time. And now, okay, so now you're wondering, okay, great, we heard all about this. Now what? What does she do with all this? I thought the same thing. So in 2015, we had our first baby born. And I was determined to come back to dance. I danced until I was 17 weeks old, I think, 17 weeks into pregnancy. Flew to China, performed in China, I came back to the belly, and they said, I will come back as soon as possible. So little was 1 month old when I jumped back into the studio. He was 3 months old when we went back on tour, and I quickly realized that motherhood and dance, for me, collided greatly, and I could not. I had to pick my battles. Not that it was a battle, but it did. So I tried touring, I tried going back, and it all seemed like an impossible task. So now I have this little one and a great passion for dance, and neither one are meeting in one place. So, in 2016, my husband got an offer for the job that we forced us to relocate, and it seemed like a good opportunity for me to move on for my career as well. I had to turn down a very, very fascinating offer from the grant company, in order to put my son at the forefront of my life. So it was very hard, it was a very tough decision, but we came to Wake Forest. So from a very, very busy life, and from a city life, I was in this quaint little town, now discovering what motherhood is all about and no career in dance. So it was a very difficult transition, and I felt lost, and I didn't feel like I belonged. And for quite a while, I told my husband, we're not painting our house, we're not putting our furniture out. We're only here temporary, because I don't think I'm gonna live here. So, and then, if you remember the first picture, the Lansing dance with the park in the back. I went to this park, and you can see in the background, there's this stage. So, if you've been to Wake Forest, there's a place called E. Carroll Jordan Park. And they have an outdoor amphitheater, which no longer looks like that because they built an awning over it, to protect the performers. And that was the first time that I walked in there, and this was my 4.5-year-old boy, like, I know this is what I want to do. So my thought was, has dance ever been presented in Wake Forest at this venue? So there I started trying to do my research and figuring out what is the arts culture like in Wake Forest, who is responsible, who can I ask, how can dance fit into this space, and has it even ever been presented here before? The answers were no, it has not. If you are willing to tackle it, go for it. And I did. So I found a way to create a stage on top of that stage because dancers cannot dance on Blackstone. So we bring in an actual scrub floor, which is a proper way for dancers to dance. It takes about 3 hours to set up the entire stage. And the way we ended up doing it, this is my partner at the time, Pam. If it wasn't for Pam, I probably wouldn't be able to do this project, but she just jumped off the cliff with me and said, anything's possible, let's go. We had a lot of coffee dates and we dreamed together, and this was our first performance, and it was pretty incredible to see how many people came out to see it. Now, the concept, remember that story of me crying in the theater? What I wanted to create with this performance is to give children an opportunity to be children in a park setting, but also give them an opportunity to see dance. And hopefully they will not be chastised in the process for getting their wiggles out. And they won't get to be pulled out of an actual theater, but at the same time, they're getting an introduction to proper theater etiquette to a degree. So giving exposure, all of this was free open to the public. We never charged anybody anything to come to the show. So the concept was to offer dance to anybody who is willing to come and see it. So our audiences have grown over the years. This is all pre-COVID, as you can imagine. We were able to bring companies from New York, and a lot of prominent dancers were able to bring them on stage to perform for us. Very lively performances. Now, part of my original idea was just to do festival meeting, we're just doing an evening performance, that's it. Pam came to me one day, my partner found, she said, Masha, that's not an evening performance, great, but what else can we do? If you name it a festival, there has to be more, you gotta bring more to the table. I said, okay, how many of us show hands? Who has been to join a party before? Okay. Do you know the area where they have the barns, the smaller barns, with the chicken coop and the ton of them? Okay, with the new barn. So I said, we're gonna do something called tour in motion. The concept is the audience meets in one spot. we see a performance, and then we all get guided to a different location in the park. So the whole tour takes about 45 minutes. All of these dancers, all of these performers went through an adjudicated process, so they had to submit their work. Some of them came from as far as Ohio, some were local, and we crammed people into small spaces like that. This is a very tiny house. We had about 40 in there at one point. But the concept was, again, to bring dance in a different location in places that might be an unexpected place to see dance, not just theater. Again, free and open to the public. As you can see, some kids are running around, some have helmets on, but they're able to see at their own pace. So from our initial performance of just a couple of, a couple of artists, we have grown tremendously. So by year 3, 2019, this is our largest group ever. We usually try to present 3 schools, a university program, emerging artists, and then professional companies. So after that, and this is just a view from the stage, audience grew year after year, and I knew there was more. That dancer me got the scholarship initially. I always felt that there was more to what dance could do beyond one-day entertainment and exposure for other artists to be presented at the festival. So one of the families from Wake Forest who financially supported our first event, she called me after the visit. She said, Masha, I love what you're doing. I want to do more. What would you like? Not like what would you like, but what are your dreams? And I said, I know exactly, I want this scholarship program. And she said, okay, how much? And I said, like 250 per person. She goes, no, that's silly. Let's at least go for 500 each on the dancers. So we ironed out our agreements, and her entire family from the entire United States chipped in from $5 to $1,000. Pretty much every family member sent in some kind of money, and they started under our name a scholarship fund in honor of their mother. So the way we would do this, do you see that first year, just a few, and then it keeps growing and growing, so that's 2017, 2018, 2019. So, and I'll move on to this for a second. So dancers who received the scholarships had to be part of the performance. They had to be enrolled in the school, and they also had to be adjudicated. So again, I was not part of the process. I had people who were part of the selection, and then we select the dancers who would receive the scholarship, and they will be called out during the performance and awarded. And the check will go directly to, not to them, but to the school that they will be attending. So we go to the towards their tuition. We started offering master classes. So again, my concept of, okay, let's go beyond just one day entertainment. What else can we do? So we started doing master classes. With master classes, so we have Antonio Fini at the bottom. Antonio said, Masha, I want to do more. What would you like? I said, I want a scholarship. And he said, okay, well, let's talk. Antonio has 2 programs, one in New York, one in Italy. And the one in Italy is a 4-week program, one in New York is a 1-week program. He said, Masha, if you can find me somebody who can supply the funding for the scholarship, I will do room and board. I said, okay, I will do my job. So I made wonderful connection with the Dancing Angels Foundation. If you guys have not heard of them before, it's a mother who lost 2 of her daughters in the house fire, and both of the daughters love to dance, and she wanted to do something to perpetuate their memories. So the scholarship fund is something that she does to honor her daughters, and she's wonderful. So I talked to Louise and I said, we have an opportunity to do something in Italy. Would you be interested? And she said, I'm on board. So this is our 6th year now where we organize the audition, we pay the artist fee, we do the legwork. Louise provides the 4-week tuition, Antonio provides room and board. The dancers only have to get themselves to Italy. Now, side note, on the bottom here we have Chloe. So Chloe is one of the dancers who, she was our first ever scholarship recipient to go to Italy. Chloe walked into this audition about to quit dance. As far as she was concerned, just like me, there was no room for dance. For her, she was not a ballerina, and if it's not a ballerina, nothing's gonna happen. She came to this audition, and in a couple of weeks, was going to quit completely. For some reason, that particular audition, something sparked in her, and Antonio said, this is the one that I want. Chloe's the one that I want. Chloe has never been out of the country, has never had an espresso, has never been in a taxi before. So Chloe was sheltered. Now we're sending Chloe to Italy for 4 weeks without her mother and her son. Chloe had an absolutely stunning, uneventful time. When she came back, she said, I no longer want to do ballet. I understand there's more doors out there for me. She pursued a bachelor's in fine arts, and afterwards, she still said, maybe dance is not for me, but I want to do more. So she started her own nonprofit now that provides dance classes to students with disabilities. So that's something that she was very passionate about, but I always feel like when I look back to this audition, like something happened here. They gave her an opportunity to see herself over the light through the lens of dance. So to this day, I find this young woman super inspiring. These are the recipients, some of the recipients from the Holy Family Fund and that. These are our scholarship partners. So American Dance Festival, if you've heard of them. So we work the same way with Beanie Dance and ADR. They provide half the scholarship. Dance Majors provides the other half. And we send dancers to attend the programs in the summer. This is also from Italy. And then, so one of the cool things in Italy, they could also get more funding to further their education. So part of what Antonio does is to provide more opportunities. So not only this provides them with one door, we're opening just a couple of more for them to pursue dance. And currently, I continue to restage works by Martha Graham. So I've been entrusted with that process. I work very diligently to make sure that the work that Martha Graham has choreographed for many, many years to retain its integrity. And I restage these works on university programs and ballet companies. So that's a very big shoes to fill, but I absolutely love it. So I wanted to, and these are some of the, this is at the University of Arizona, they just recently performed the work from the 1940s. Same like in Miami. But to conclude this, why am I telling you all of this? And why dance? So as I told you, for me, dance was an impossibility. My parents couldn't afford it. One of my passions was to open up doors for other dancers. But here's the words of wisdom from the truth. So remember I told you that I had this little gap between joining the Graham Company and after being in college. And I came to the street one time into her office being very frustrated because some of the dancers didn't seem like they were excelling at the pace that others were. And I expressed my frustration, and the student said, Masha, let me tell you something. It's like, you need to change the way you see your students. Like maybe 5 to 10% out of the entire group might choose to pursue dance as a career. Most of them will keep going and will do something else in their lives. So put that to the side. And our job in the classroom, in the studio, is to give them an opportunity to see themselves, do something that they're proud of, work on discipline, give them delayed gratification, practice professionalism, and so many other things that this communal work gives these young dancers. She said, don't worry about them. In fact, worry about what dance is doing for them, not how dance is going to pave their way to a dance career. And that really stuck to me to this day. It's not about becoming a dancer, it's becoming a better community member. So it worked like that for me through the scholarship program because none of those doors would be open for me. And my hope is that through the lens of dance, this next generation of not necessarily dancers, but community leaders, art supporters, and so on and so forth, see themselves in a different light and hopefully get inspired that when they have their successful careers, they want to give back to the community and be prominent and be loving and hopefully make a change. So, and that's it. That's what I do. Yeah, questions?
It's been noted that really good athletes, like kids growing up, are the ones who play different sports as opposed to just one, are generally better athletes. Does that translate to dance? I mean, do some of the other kids do other activities? And does that translate or make better dancers? Does that make sense?
We do encourage dancers to what we call cross train when you're older. Well, when they're younger, they will taste test a lot of things.
Sure.
And at some point, if dance truly speaks to them, they start to narrow it down and the other activities start to be pushed to the side. And this dance becomes predominant. Now, as far as injury prevention and things of that sort, we also encourage our dancers to swim, to do some weightlifting, but for the longevity of the body, for you school, yes, you would have to do other things, but I think I learned that later in my career than earlier. I think it was taught to me that way when it was just dance. This is all you do. But from my perspective, I think it's much more helpful for young dancers to start thinking that way we are athletes.
Sure.
Dancers, we don't just stop with dancing, you have to train as such. Yeah.
Options, Wake Forest Dance Festival, are going to come back.
Okay, so after COVID, we definitely took a little hit, just like any other organization. What we did at the end of COVID, we created a film project and we videotaped 4 different artists throughout the park. And we created like about 25-minute presentation. So those 4 films could either live on their own or be presented as one. So one of the things we've done was to present this one by one at the Boys and Girls Club. So this was part of our outreach project. We also presented the entire thing at the senior center. So we're trying to find ways to engage with the community. Now, as far as coming back on the outdoor stage, the challenges of being on the outdoor stage, you just never know what the weather's going to be like. So to see your plane literally going down the train is a very painful event because it did rain in 2019. So that was, it really put us in a whole new perspective, like how do we 100% dance for not lose money in the process. So we did our first 8 performance in November, and all three performances were sold out. One of them was matinee, where a child could bring an adult for free, and it was amazing. So we're definitely finding ways, and our scholarship program is still thriving. So we're trying to find ways to bring in, come back, but not, maybe not in an outdoor setting, because it is challenging. Maybe not at that school. Go ahead.
Do you plan to stay in the area? Do you travel around the state? Do you return to New York, or do you have also?
I've come back to New York for the filming project for the Grand Technique instructional videos. I've done that. For setting groundworks, I usually travel to universities. So I stay there for about 2 weeks. So the entire program, the entire piece can be set. And then after they're done rehearsing it, so I set it, I leave, and then I come back when they perform it. So I get on the road quite a bit. No, there's more to come. Yeah.
That's cool. You've already told us that you're asking, but and before you answer that, I just like to comment on that legislation. Like that picture of leaving Wake Forest stage, I think it's competitive for Michael Jordan.
Since we're athletes, right? Right now, we don't have anything scheduled, as far as performance goes. So if we do something, it might be in November. There's a space above Cotton Company in downtown Forest that worked really well for us for indoor performance. It's a little tricky because of the way the space is set up, but it worked well. So if we do, it will be at around the Veterans Fund.
I want to thank you so much for coming to this country. Thank for bringing that. It's a community, out of curiosity, parents that have been praying, they still here today.
They're still here, yeah. Yeah, they're still here, what was supposed to be just 1 year for my dad, the scientific project kept growing, you asked him to stay a little bit longer. And I mean, if you would have lived in Ukraine as a parent, I would probably say we need to stay here for its future, so that's what my parents worked very hard to get their papers together, it took them about 10 years, but. Yeah, but, yeah, I thank them a lot, because that's quite a leap of faith to leave everything, their careers behind, to come here and build something new. I know other people have done it for me, so hopefully we can do the same for others.
Thank you, Masha. So I'm gonna take it from board. We have a little token of appreciation, the Rotary mug, and on the back is our 4-way cup, actually here's the second minute. And it's, a lot of the things you say in there is exactly what you talked about dance in the community, and your goal is, getting children to recognize, the benefits of being in the community. So, thank you very much. Another round of applause. All right, Rotarians and friends, if you could stand and join me in the 4-way fest. Don't forget about the board meeting tonight if you want to attend virtually, and I don't think that you can still register for DisCon 24, but if you are interested in going to Newport this weekend, I'm sure you can email somebody and attend. All right, can you join me in the 4-way test after me? And the things we think, say, and do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Meeting adjourned.
So,